DSM. Welcome to this video. Ooh. So, what I actually want to talk about. Well, I really jumped on this video. I was just kidding. And playing one, but I actually want to talk about this. And so, talk about what? Repatterning the old patterns. Why I do think as males or this video is for all, but as do I masculine or however you want to call it, red pill alphas. Everyone is wannabe. So no, it's kinda hard. Some actually do to acknowledge the spiritual side or to acknowledge it from a masculine standpoint, or to, at least that's my perspective, to reorganize, realign this side, the masculine side, especially for males. And regarding patterns, now you probably think, what the fuck is this brother talking about? So actually, if you know it or not, we are following patterns. Obviously, programming, social programming, as everyone in this new age or nowadays, or almost everyone or many people know or heard of, is the social conditioning matrix programming. Now what we constantly do is programming, reprogramming, and energizing certain patterns and pathways of consciousness, if you're aware of it or not. And we constantly try to climb that ladder or use more empowering ones. You see? Empowerment of the self. Now, it's kind of tricky because here we had a kind of split consciousness or duality consciousness. So we played out was this game of this Earth here in the Matrix system, which never was rooted in truth, anyways, as you clearly can see and feel. And no, on some level, yes, everyone. I don't know who's watching. Some of you might say, if someone's watching that, no. Some might say, obviously, some aren't that sure about it. So, yeah, and especially, I realized for the masculine is you were going most time with the pattern you're most feel most inclined to, because this can have many factors. Okay, many factors, not only how you grew up, although this can be a big factor, but what was your original intention, um, setting of your soul or your uh, ship in a certain direction, because you got free will as well. And it's kind of and so as the masculine side, it, because it has much to do with the creator part of ourselves, so it's for everyone. So this might also help the ladies, but the creator part of ourselves, then we, because there was so much darkness, and we identify as the creator than as the masculine side. Obviously, this doesn't necessarily have to do with genders, because as a female you're still a creator. I mean, in that regards, I don't want to go into genderism too much. So this can be quite tough too, but as and obviously it's for both genders tough. It's just different pathways. The reason I make this video is because as a male you either or as your masculine side either reject spirituality at all because you see it as this worship, because a lot of it was represented like that because the divine masculine was suppressed or still led by the dark or trying to build something in the dark because uh, we the masculine side got used to these patterns and is here to build and bring in direction. Now this can be kind of dumb if you trying to do this on a level or playground and don't direct it into a progress of self and movement up there, and or at least somehow in a divine progression or in a way of progress and self improvement. Now this can be kind of tricky because as the creator side it's kind of your job to detach, and but that's the whole thing, stay behind from that perspective, not that you're not here, you're also there, you're fully present, you make space. But that's the thing, if you try to make space in the dark and you don't make it from within, try to make space from within. I know it sounds kind of woo woo, but if you then you take space, you take more from the darkness. Now, from one perspective, you'd only take on what's already there, and that's kind of what you're doing if you serve that downward movement, the dark side, so to speak. And with dark side, I don't mean the ultimate extreme, but they are the ultimate example of that because they wanted to wanted to get all the benefits of being the creator and detach from all responsibilities from one perspective and the implicit oneness of creator and creation, you know. And so because you often say for feel or it's portrayed that the women are more the ones acting from the heart, like I see it like the heart of creation, but it's also one with the creator because the creator uh, if you want to see the ultimate creator, at least from my perspective, right? So you can make your own perspective and hopefully own progress. That's why they say they took the flesh from the man and made a woman, not because the woman is less than him, but because the creator is the. It's hard to explain the yeah, the space, the energy behind creation and making of new worlds, but within that space uh, is where the creation lies. But she is part of the space, and she is, well, more simply explained, you know, as many say, the womb, and uh, playing that out, or is that highest archetype. Now, but that's why the heart, you know, connected to the heart of creation. But it doesn't mean that that's a false understanding that the creator is numb, and that's the whole misunderstanding about narcissism. It's also quite weak narcissism because you become ignorant, because you're not willing to look at yourself, because you are lost in the outside because of that outside gaze, because now you're dependent on the outside world uh, if you want to accept it or not, and because you want to act like you're it, and you're it, but it's rooted in disbelief that you're not it, and so now you're pushing it in the outside, and now it only gets mirrored back to you. This exact same thing, and it could go much deeper with that. Now, getting kind of juicy here, this talk. Now, why I'm saying this to you is because this is tough like shit to deal with that energy of ignorance, because it's rooted in deep pain and unacknowledgement, but the creator is the seer, and the whole problem is that your inner child wants to be seen, and because you obviously once were a child, so and you're a child of the cosmos obviously, and part of the creation as well, so you still have the inner child part, but the tricky thing is to acknowledge that, but also first and foremost know that you are the also the as a male the expression of the creator. How cocky this now might sound, but if you don't acknowledge this and find the strength, you will end up clinging to or resonating with, or yeah, kinda creating through these patterns. Now, some of these might be more or less detrimental, or focus in downward spiral, but because on a collective scale it was energized so much, and through the whole duality thing, and through that, when you perceive it as that, especially when you were a child and someone tried to push their darkness onto you, it was strictly trying to push you down, and the energizing of that over and over again on such a grand scale as I see it is what many call the devil, because now it's like God is the ultimate ever expansive consciousness, the one who holds all or contains all, and the source of all, right? In a positive way, in a yeah. Obviously, if you're spiritual, you know that to some degree. You also can go much further with that. Now, that which was pushed in the dark and much deeper and deeper, and that tries to find its way back into consciousness to some degree. But I also talked about the more it got pushed into the unseen, the more it tries to play out there or knock onto something there, and then try to find its way in the easiest way to higher consciousness, and especially through pushing it down as a collective so much further, it can't can't, or it doesn't ascend strictly into God consciousness itself, and tries to trick and manipulate it into the human arena, or this vortex through wherever it finds the most appealing light, just for its salvation, so to speak. But even if these are tricky and trickster energies itself, and now from one perspective you can say because it came from the human vortex, but it didn't came only from that, okay? But it could. Now it doesn't matter because in the end these are lower energies and darker energies. Uh, and I don't wanna justify their ways. I already talked about it in another video. What I actually want to say is now, if the whole, that's why they call it the devil, because it's lived backwards. The lived energy, it's the past, okay? It's not rooted in the present. It's past hurt energy, and you can only heal it in the now. Now, obviously, these are because it's energized so much through the collective, plus the whole creation creator concept and direction concept. It's actually quite simple from one perspective. If everyone is energizing it, then they are already pushing a certain pattern, direction, okay? And so you have that, this and that, right? You have the dark matrix, if you want so, and the according pattern to it, but it's not going it's not going up, because if everyone pushes and suppresses, and this is energized out of that, so quite obvious. So you shouldn't even fear it, because that's why they say hold no fear. Now you shouldn't fear, but it's all understanding. Some say love is understanding ultimately, because at one point you realize that these are all still energizing this kind of system or vortex. And if you study these energies more, you just realize that it is unnecessary, and just parts of you feeling unseen ultimately. And it doesn't help if you then act like it's not there, because that's weak, that's not shining your light, that's not being straight up and direct, because you're not straight up and direct and authentic within yourself. Now, authenticity is a tricky thing, because we can go much deeper and deeper. And so, but then you obviously on some level can use more benevolent, improving pattern for the highest good. Now, I just want to lay it out, because in the end, you more and more, in the end, but more and more you then come into your greater self and need to put more faith and trust and belief in yourself as the creator and of your own life, which is from one perspective the hardest thing to do, but it's only perceived so. And I also observed that on my journey, because if you're still fighting, the dark on some level, or with these old ways, you're still not making a pathway for the new. So I would think that's the best way I would explain it. And then you realize it's the lack of belief or faith, or however you want to call it, trust and stuff. So that's how I see it, man. Hope this could help someone. Of course, you can always go deeper and deeper with it, and there are many perspectives to the whole truth. I still hope this could help some of you. In the end, it's obviously also about finding yourself. Hard to do if you're pointing away from yourself. So, but also we want to set a direction to create So peace and blessings, and yeah, that we are on the ice path, man.